Okay, this video is going to be on how I make the recurve tips and some weight reduction and how you could use, if you're getting older, instead of using draw knives and then going to a rasp and a cabinet scraper, how you could use a belt sander, 36-inch belt sander, like a table model, to help you get down to a line that you draw the line, the thickness you kind of want to have a starting point, all right? So, you know, say what you want, whatever, but as I'm getting older, I use the draw knife on the past few bows. And other than the other day when I took the weight reduction down, let me tell you, it was a dream to take the weight down with that belt sander. So these are things I did, and just gonna share them with you. Maybe a little boring, but if you ever go down this crazy rabbit hole, you're definitely going to want to look at some of these things to see how it looks. You know, I saw a bunch of videos. There's a lot of great professional guys that make these Osage bows on YouTube. There's nothing that I'm coming up with here. I'm looking at all the videos that all these professional guys, you know, made, and taking little things and sticking them in the back of my head and looking around the garage for scrap wood. And, oh, can I make an arrow hanging rack? Can I make a pull down draw board? Oh, I see, I have scrap wood. I can make that the jig for the recurve tips. I took a line and a screw and made 7 inches. And I went to the top of the board and swung a 7-inch radius. And I saw a guy that had he had the recurve jig, and there was a big cutout, like a big circle. Well, I really didn't want to mess around with the little saw, so you see the one I made, but the idea came from him. So all these guys that, you know, made these awesome videos, I wish I remembered it was just too many to put a little thing on the bottom. Thank you all for all your videos. But this is how I did it. And yes, there's nothing really totally original from what I'm doing. I'm just getting little bits from everybody and making it work for me. And once again, my friend Cliff from Thursday Night Archery, thanks for getting me into this here. My friends all say, oh, don't look at us. We're not going to follow you down that rabbit hole. But it really is addicting. Like I said, if you're mechanically inclined or you like to tinker and you build your first bow, failure or success, you'll be hooked. It really is. It's addicting, okay? Now, like I said, I'll probably mention this again at the end of the video, but, you know, watch this. It's going to show you weight reduction, recurve tips, and this might be my last 2 bows, but I'll never say never, because it was kind of a fun adventure. A lot of hard work, but when you see the results at the end, you know, it's definitely worth it. Look, it's the coolest thing. It was a log. It was a big log, and now it's a bow. All right, so watch the video, maybe a little boring, and you'll see me shoot at the end. All right, Happy New Year. Okay, my recurve, surprisingly quick. It's a little zippy, and it's less weight than my longbow. It's about 40 pounds at my 26-inch draw length. I gave it a first coat of warm satin polyurethane, and the reason I went with that instead of oils is that it will dry and won't have a scent, and the oils won't keep leaking for a while until they finally cure. And what I did was, I was so impressed with the less weight and faster arrows, and how I determined that was I was shooting the same arrows I was shooting out of my longbow, and it shot weak out of this at 40 pounds. So what I did was, call me crazy, but I got the longbow cooking here, and I'm going to put recurve. I reduced the weight from 48 at my draw length of 26 inches to 43 at my draw length, and now I'm going to steam it, and we're going to put recurve levels on it. Okay, it's raining outside, and tonight it's going to be really pouring rain. So after shooting that little Christmas bow I made with the recurve limbs, I couldn't believe it's only 40 pounds, and it actually shot the same arrows out of my 48-pound longbow weak. So it's kicking it out a lot faster. So it's kind of uncomfortable, the 49-pound longbow at my 26-inch draw length. So what I'm going to do is I took some weight reduction down, as you've seen on the video, and we're steaming the limbs. And I hear it beeping inside, so it's time to get it, come out, run out, put it in, and bend it, all right? I just love the way the wood bends. Hopefully it'll work. I took all of the polyurethane off so the steam would get into the wood, and we'll see how it works out. Okay, hot out of the pot. Hot out of the pot. Oh my goodness, it bends so nice. Oh, bends so nice. Let me try it again. Okay, popped off. I had to get a little bigger piece of wood to put in here. Okay. Okay, when I first started to bend it, the piece of wood I had in here to, keep the tip against the block wasn't tight enough, and it popped off. I quick grabbed this, put it in a bigger block, and was able to recover and bend it and put the clamps on. So now we're going to go inside, leave it for about half hour, and then we're going to redo the other side, okay? Okay, here we go, limb number 2. Right size block. Okay, put it in there. Okay, clamps, elbow clamps. Okay, next one here. The big one now. Okay, so just to let you know, I do expect that once I take these off, because the longbow limb's a little bent and the string alignment was so it don't pop off, that now I added these big recurves, another dimension on the limb alignment. I may have to straighten out the limb left or right, so the string will be more in line and won't pop off. But here we go. This is number 2, okay? And after it cools, I'm going to put like a longer string, like a tiller-ring string that I have on, and just check it out. And I am quite sure that at some point I'm going to have to straighten these limbs and twist these limbs out, because I'm sure they're going to be off to the side, okay? So cool it and we'll move on to the next step. Okay, limb number 2 is cool, it's done. And believe it or not, the more tedious job ahead will be to straighten out these limbs so that the string is in line and will not pop off. But I already know that that's what's going to have to be done. Okay, look, check that out. Okay, we got our recurve limbs. Look, see, recurve, right? Pretty cool. I have a real long string that's kind of like a tiller-ring string that I have. And and because of the recurves, believe it or not, it's not long enough. It's not long enough for me to get on. So, all right, to be continued. Okay, so the tiller-ring string was a little short, so I twisted it up even a little shorter. And what we're going to do is see if I can string it with the tiller-ring string and then check out the limbs. Okay, got it on. We'll have to check it out. It's not up to brace because we want to just see how much we got to move these limbs. I told you we're going to have to move the limbs, right? So let's see. Okay. As you can see, the limbs are both upper and lower have to be moved. Okay, so what we're going to do is, maybe what I'll do is I'll clean off a spot in here. We'll clamp it down on the table and twist it in here, okay? That's what we'll do. Okay, and then what I'll do is clamp it down and set it up, and you can watch me bend it. Okay, I'm steaming the middle of this bow where it's twisted. And the idea is I have to align the limb tips for the string. But this bow was so twisted to begin with. Now what I want to do is try to straighten out the main beam limbs and before I touch the recurve ends. If I could straighten these out, it's less I have to twist the recurve limbs. So we're going to see how it works out. It's coming off in a little while, and all I'm going to do is clamp it right to the table flush and see how it comes out. Okay, here's this big first number 1 twist, this wild twist here. Okay. We got this part that's flat down first. Here we go with this part. Now this part's the twisted part. Uh-oh, that's not good. Heard a pop. Okay, either we broke the bow or we'll have to wait and see what the other side looks like. Okay. Alright, I wasn't putting down, I don't think, too much pressure, but when you crank it down on these clamps. So I heard that pop wasn't good. Alright, so what we're going to do now is just let this cool and see what we got on the other side. On a good note, I don't see nothing splinter, but we'll have to see what it looks like on the other side. But I did move this really over a lot. And that's what I wanted to intend to do. Okay. See, I told you, you play trial and error, and sometimes you could break it, sometimes you do good. So let's see what happens after it cools. All right, it's got to cool for about a half hour, and then we'll look. Either I wrecked it or we're good. Okay, it's really cool now. Almost don't want to see what happened, what broke. Well, isn't that crazy? I don't see anything that looked like it popped. Nothing. And it straightened it out. So let's see what happens if I put a little pressure on it. Put a little pressure the other way. Nothing lifted up. So I don't know what that pop was. You know, whatever it was, we'll find out. I guess we'll find out when we string it. So next I'm going to put a string on, just take a look again, and see what we got to bend. Okay, I put a string on, and the bottom limb don't look too bad, and the top limb we're definitely going to have to, twist the top limb a little bit more, okay? And as far as that pop, I don't see no damage anyways. So maybe it was the cutting board that I have it on made a little crack noise. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. Next step, we're going to twist the limb. Heat it up and twist it back into shape. Okay, the tip of this limb is approximately at the point 38 inches, okay? So what we're doing with this is we're going to use a dry heat. We're going to use the heat gun. And we're going to go back and forth, and it's probably going to take about 20 minutes to heat it up. Okay, and we're going to use a little weight to put leverage and get it to bend some. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to try to heat the whole, this is the back of the bow. This is the belly of the bow. The belly of the bow faces your belly, okay? And that's what you want to heat up, the belly more than the front, because you don't want to burn the front where the single growth ring is. So this could take 20 minutes. I'm going to shut it off here and show you when we got it almost done. Okay, it's cooling, and let's see what it is. It moves, I could tell it moved a lot. Okay, it was 38 from the tip, and now it's 37. But when we take these clamps off, we're going to have a little spring back. Okay. Okay, we're going to put a string on it. And I can see this end, because it's heating and playing around, I got to just put it on the recurve jig one more time. But let's see how the string lays out. Okay, this is a long, tedious operation. As you can see, it definitely is better, but we need more work, okay? So I think the first thing I'm going to do is this one here, this limb, because I've been heating it so much, a little of the recurve came out. I'll put the recurve back in it, and we'll see how that aligns. So when I put the recurve in, we'll see what happens after I put the recurve tip in. Okay, it was a stormy night last night and morning today. It's supposed to rain all day today. And I didn't want to bore you with going over and over. I just wanted to show you how I reduced the weight on this first bow that I made. And how I use the Ryobi 36-inch belt sander, you know what I mean? The belt sander, and I kept moving it and did the sides and measured it. I kept marking the thickness. And let me tell you, you can't have the same, even if you mark the same thickness, you still have to tiller it because wood grains and everything. They bend differently, but you can get down to that weight you want, and really quick with that belt sander, and then tiller it. Okay, so you saw me, I ended off last night with, I had to recurve the tips a little bit, and then I had to just check out the alignment. The alignment isn't bad, all right? These bows are hunks of wood that you make a bow out of, and they're gonna have twists and turns and not be perfect. And in the back of your head, you wanna, most people like me, I don't know, OCD, whatever it is, I don't really have OCD, but I do want things to be good. You keep trying to manipulate it to make it like perfect, and you really have to accept that these bows aren't going to be 100% perfect. So this bow here, I took the weight down. It's about 40 at my draw length of 26 inches, okay? You like this is how I like it. You see the little shelf on there and everything. And this is the one that I couldn't get perfectly tilled, right? Now look. A lot better, right? And what it was the one limb on the bottom, okay, had that weird knot, and I didn't want to break it or crack it, and I couldn't get it level. And then I started using the steam. You know, it's a learning thing for me. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm starting, you know, I'm having fun with it. So I used steam, and as you've seen on the table, I tightened it, and I thought it was soft enough. I should have went probably another 10 minutes on the steam. And I hear a little pop. I looked all over, I couldn't find it. So anyway, after I was done and I got it tilled the way I want and the string aligned the best I could, I sanded it smooth to put polyurethane. I have warm satin polyurethane on this, okay? Because it won't leak any oils, it don't smell, it dries quick, and I could shoot it right away. Well, I found out what that crack was, right? What that noise was. You see this linear crack that runs along the grain? Okay, so I did a little research. They said that when it runs up and down, it's not a problem. You put like glue in there. And what I had was this JB Weld, supposed to be the strongest epoxy in the world, and I strung it so hopefully it would open up, but I didn't see a change really. And I mixed it up and I forced it in. I forced that JB Weld in this crack and let it dry, scraped it down, and polyurethaned over it. So I shot it. I must have shot it like 20 times or more last night and didn't have a problem with it. So I took the weight down to 40 pounds, you know, especially after seeing that crack, it's 40 pounds. And this is going to be a fun bow for everybody to shoot. I go like Thursday night archery, and I'll take this down with me, and I don't care who shoots it. If it breaks, it breaks, all right? This Osage bow build, my friend Cliff, thank you, Cliff, got me started. And it's one of the most, if you like tinkering and you like, you're a little mechanically inclined, or you like woodworking, and you get introduced into this, okay? Especially he had the wood, he had the tools. It's addicting, all right? It's unbelievable. My friends say they don't want to go down this rabbit hole, right? Well, I'll tell you what, once you go down this rabbit hole, I made 2 bows now. This is the first, actually 3, because the first one, you know, the first one broke because of a bad knot and different things. But I say I'm done, right? In the back of my head, I really like to make another, but what am I going to do with 2? What am I going to do with 3 of these bows? You know what I mean? So I got to put everything away, back off for a while. But if you ever thought in the back of your head of trying to build one of these bows, you should do it. Even if you buy the stave from somebody that's taken down to a growth ring and shaped already, you know, and then tell them you don't want the hourglass. You don't want an hourglass shape. You want it a blocky shape so you can make your own, you know, make your own rest and grip however you like it, you know. Do that. Okay, so anyway, here we are. Look at that, right there, right? Okay, so this bow is I'm going to write my therapy, okay? It should say I should be in therapy, but it's going to be my therapy is the name of this bow. And it's about 40 pounds. This is the stave I got that was already taken down to a growth ring, and I put the recurve tips on, and I made it a little shorter. You know, this is what I plan to do with this one. And this one shoots really fast and great. I kind of like it. It's around 40 pounds at my 26 inches. A little tough to string, okay? And this is my Christmas bow. This is the bow I made for Christmas, right? So this bow, I'll probably take hunting. This is going to be my hunting bow. You know, because the other one developed a crack. I took down a little more weight. And this thing really zips them out. So let's see. Look at the shots. 2 different bows. These are 600 spine arrows. I got like 165 grain tip in. And take a look at the grouping I got here. All right, 2 different bows set up, and look, they're touching arrows. Look, see, they're just about touching arrows. So I just wanted to share with you how I reduce the weight with the belt sander, how you take a twist out, how you steam it. I hope some of these videos aren't too boring, but if you ever do go down the rabbit hole and start to make these bows, and it's addicting, it's good to look at my videos to see my trial and errors, you know what I mean? So anyway, Christmas is over. Once again, this is my Christmas bow. The first one, that's my therapy because I like to tinker. And have a happy new year. Have a safe, healthy, happy new year, okay? And I think I'm done with these bows for a little while, but you never know. It is an addicting hobby, okay? All right. Everybody watch my videos, subscribe, and good luck to you.